hopefully it will be clear tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, starting at 7:08, the moon will pass in front of, or occult, the bright star Aldebaran of the constellation Taurus, the Bull. And if you have binoculars or a small telescope, this is quite spectacular. Since the moon has no atmosphere, and because stars are so far away that we don't see their disk, the star will just instantly disappear when the moon reaches it, and just as instantly reappear an hour and 20 minutes later when the moon passes by it. You might be able to see the disappearance actually just with the unaided eye, but binoculars or a telescope certainly make it a lot easier to see. The planet Venus is that bright thing off in the west that I get a lot of emails about. And right now it's about to pass between Earth and the Sun, or pass through conjunction on the 25th this month. When that happens, we won't see it in the evening sky anymore. Instead, it will come up before sunrise. But now it shows a beautiful crescent in a telescope, and because it's the closest planet to us right now, it also is the largest in a telescope, so it looks surprisingly like what the crescent moon looks like to your eye. A lot of people.
So that's the brightest star, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Looks
the thing
like
that looks like a UFO.
So it's evening. So when I was walking in, it was out.
Yeah.
It's
And
really
a lot of people,
bright.
it's so bright. It's actually the third brightest astronomical thing in the sky after the sun and moon.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just can't get over how bright it is and thinking, well, I can't really be part of the night sky, but it is. If you're in a really dark location when no moon's out, say on snow or something like that, you can see your shadow quite easily on Venus. I've seen it before. Now in the early morning, well actually Jupiter starts coming up at 9, but it's actually better to see it before sunrise. Jupiter, which is in Virgo near the bright star Spica, is the second brightest planet, and therefore it's quite noticeable. And this is just one of many beautiful pictures that amateurs have been getting recently of it. So look for the red spot, and you can see 4 large moons and the banded clouds. Remember, Jupiter's 11 times the diameter of Earth, so it looks big even when it isn't close to us. And this is a gorgeous amateur image of Saturn that was just taken a few days ago by Damien Peach, who's a British amateur astronomer. But he got time to use a 40-inch telescope in Chile. He's one of a very select handful of amateurs whose photography was deemed good enough to actually use professional equipment. So he's combined his own techniques with that equipment, and just a jaw-dropping, I hate that expression, but in this case it actually is true. And if you look carefully, you can even see the hexagon, which really has been prominent mostly in the Cassini images from orbit, but here we see it.
So it's southern summer, yeah?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Actually, northern summer, and it's, yeah. So we're looking at the northern part of the planet.
Oh, was that inverted?
Yes, I'm sorry. Astronomical, old-fashioned, especially astronomical convention has south on the top, because that's how most telescopes invert it.
Geologists would never do that.
Yeah, no, but the website where this is posted, actually, it's a rule you have to post them that way. So he followed that. Okay, now there's a comment.
Actually, I'm going to interrupt again. It's
All
my
right.
job. You just made a comment about geologists, and so I want to know, as a geologist, do you have a pony in the thing about what defines a planet?
No.
Good answer.
They're all interesting.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so there's a comet that towards the end of the month should be bright enough to see in binoculars. It's called 41P, Tuttle Jacobini Kresak. And I'm sorry, Bill, I didn't need you this time on this one. we have somebody who pronounces the usual names, I can't. But at the end of the month, it will pass through the Big Dipper, so it should be pretty easy to find. Again, if you follow the Sky Report that I post weekly on the website, I'll have information as the comet develops. And
This is just some cool little fireballs, cool images of a single fireball that happened at the beginning of the month, and seen from Wisconsin. Super bright. We kind of remind us of the whole Chelyabinsk thing, except no sonic boom.
And it didn't make it down.
It didn't make it down to anyone's knowledge, but love that reflection in the car window, and it lit up the night for a lot of these folks. So, oh, there's one more. So some people were wondering what it is, and they through a telescope, they were able to see.
Patrick, banana peel, stop!
What did you say?
So that was spotted over Wisconsin.
All right. Well, don't forget, next weekend is when we force ourselves to lose an hour of sleep and make the sunset too late. That's right. Rise up against it.
But we all like daylight savings time.
But look at that dog. How
I
can you-
know. He has to get up early.
Right. And then on March 20th at 3:29 in the morning, spring begins. And that no doubt will be followed by probably some special presentations here. With at noon, we use our meridian arc to highlight the time, which will, I guess, be exactly 1 o'clock p.m. our time that date because of daylight saving time. And the sun also will set due west. This is the comet. Bill, help.
100
Yes. Which this actually in February passed about 8 million miles, I believe, from the Earth around the 11th. And this was a few days after that, but another brilliant or beautiful image by amateur astronomers. And so here we see that close approach between Earth and the comet.
So I see a question from this young lady. Do you have a question?
Is it possible to use binoculars and see the galaxy when you're inside it?
Is it possible to
Well-
use binoculars and see the galaxy when you're inside it?
Yes, in fact, you know, when we look at the night sky, all of the stars you see at night are stars in our galaxy. And you know what? Even the sun during the daytime is the nearest star to us, and we're actually part of the Milky Way galaxy. So all of the stars you see in the sky with your eye are part of our own Milky Way galaxy.
And there are just a few galaxies outside our own Milky Way galaxy that you can also see pretty well through binoculars. So yeah, it's a good thing to
Yeah,
get.
Binoculars are wonderful
Yeah,
to
wonderful.
use, by the way.
Yeah.
So explore yourself.
You can see the whole of the Milky Way from, but you can't. You can't see the galaxy as though you're outside it. Is that the question?
But
No,
you
but
see,
you know,
it's like being inside the whale's stomach. You can look around and see everywhere you look is this whale's stomach.
if you go
That's a
out,
weird analogy, I know. Okay, I don't know where that came from. You know why? 'Cause wasn't there some Pinocchio? Thank you. I knew there was a childhood reference. I wasn't totally crazy. Okay. Okay. So yes, this comet with which we call 45P, a little bit easier, was also imaged recently with the Arecibo telescope down in Puerto Rico, and they were able to see that it has sort of a double-lobed structure. Wow. There it is rotating. And so it reminds us of another famous double-lobed 67P. So 67P and 45P, it's sort of like 45P is 67P's little sister.
So Arecibo, that was radar.
That was radar.
Yeah.
And there we go. That was courtesy our group.